Good evening, everybody. So something a bit different tonight. Unfortunately, due to a little bit of an oversight on my behalf and some mixing up of dates, etc., I can't bring you the episode I hope to bring you this evening, which was actually a Battle of the Rides episode. But trust me, that will come as soon as I possibly can. So I thought, what about a little bit of a question and answer session with me. This will be your opportunity to quiz me rather than me quizzing people for a change. I'm also going to use the opportunity to obviously update people about plans going forward, especially summer plans, which I think I've finally got pretty much finalized now through till September. And also, channel plans, all those kind of things. But I thought I'd start off with the way I normally start with my guests, of course, in recent shows, which is to ask some questions, general questions, the ones that, as I say, if you've watched recent shows, I ask pretty much across the board. And I thought, actually, it might be nice to give you my answers to those questions. You've probably heard me comment, agreeing, disagreeing sometimes with guests, but I just thought it's the opportunity to give you, as I say, my answers. So obviously the first one that I always ask people is, hold on, I've lost my page now, bear with me. Worst 5 rides. I've been starting that every show with that recently for guests. So I'm going to give you my worst 5 rides as of current time. So these may not have always been my worst 5 rides, but I will give you those. Good evening to everybody in the live chat as well, by the way. I'm going to have a quick run through this as well, because all these have just appeared. I think my internet's playing up tonight because these have literally all just appeared. So good evening, Nick, Walking with the Woods. Good evening, Parks and Sharks. Lovely to have you with me. Good evening, Shane, Wilkie Boy. Evening, Abby. Thanks for the support, as always. Good evening, Kate. Mike, lovely to see you. I was going to say geezer. That sounded really cockney then. Lovely to see you, mate. Thanks for joining. Good evening, Dave. Good evening, Kaz. And good evening, Sean, Grumpy Theme Park. Lovely to see you here as well, mate. All right, I have literally just got in from work, having had a complete brake failure on my bicycle, and having to conduct some en route repairs. So I do apologise if I'm a little bit sort of all over the shop to begin with. Once I get into my stride, as usual, I'll be back on board. So I was going to say, worst 5 rides. I think I'm going to have to put in a number 5. Saw the ride this year. I have up until this year really loved Saw. It's a great themed ride. However, the rides I've had on Saw this year have been rough. I can't lie. I haven't had a single ride on Saw this year that hasn't resulted in a headache. And so for that reason and that reason alone, I'm gonna have to put Saw the ride in at number 5. I know that's possibly not going to be a very popular opinion, but it's my opinion, I'm afraid. Oh, evening, Em. Thank you for joining. But honestly, please get yourself off to bed. I know you've been suffering terribly over the weekend. It's lovely to see you, and it's lovely that you want to be here, and I always appreciate the support. However, I know how much you've suffered, and get yourself off to bed, please. We can always catch up at another time. Nothing's more important than your health. So please look after yourself and get yourself off to bed or whatever you need to do and chill out. But thank you for joining. It's appreciated. Evening, Chris Johnson Adventures. Lovely to see you. New viewer. Thank you very much for joining. I'm just running through my worst 5 roller coasters at the moment. So number 5, Saw the ride. Number 4, I think I'm going to have to give that to Rattlesnake at Chessington for a similar reason to Saw. I think it's gradually got rougher to the point now where I feel it's pretty unrideable for me. I always seem to come off with an injury of some description. So it's good evening, Lucy. Thanks for joining. Always seem to come off with an injury of some description. So for that reason alone, I'm going to have to put Rattlesnake in at number 4. At number 3, I think I'm going to have to put a ride that some of you may not have heard of. It's at Gulliver's, Gulliver's Milton Keynes. I rode it. It's called Grand Prix Racers. It is not only was it's a brand new roller coaster that they installed last year, and it was rough from the outset, and also it moved a lot, which made me feel slightly uncomfortable that this ride didn't seem particularly well pinned into the ground, and it appeared to be moving quite a lot. So for that reason, I'm going to have to put Grand Prix Racers from Milton Keynes in at number 3. Number 2, I'm afraid he's going to have to go to another Milton Keynes Gulliver's Land ride, which was the Runaway Train. Believe it or not, was actually rougher than Grand Prix Racers, rickety as anything. Felt really unsafe. Sorry, Shane, I didn't see this go as I was going through, so I apologize. Thank you very much for that, mate. But guys, honestly, please, I don't need these donations. It's lovely that you want to do it, but I don't need them. It's a lovely thing to do, but I don't need it. I don't do YouTube for this reason, but thank you. It is very generous of you. So yeah, so Runaway Train at Gulliver's, but my number 1, I'm afraid, and I'm going to have to share. I'm sharing this opinion with some previous guests as well. Is that absolutely wonderful Blackpool ride, Infusion. It's the roughest thing I think I've ever done. It edged it slightly for me over Grand National, which was also very rough and was in the running tonight, but I tried not to include too many rides from the same park. I wanted to spread it out as much as I could. But yeah, Infusion would have to go in at number 1 for me. I'm not sure I is there we go, Sam, all done for you. But yeah, Infusion, just rough. So it's a one and done. I don't think I'll be ever going back on Infusion. But you never know. The next question I always ask guests, of course, is the pizza, pasta, rice question, which it seems to be predominantly coming through as my favorite, which is pizza. I'm not a huge fan of pasta. I'll be completely honest. I used to love pasta. I'm not such a fan anymore. I do like rice, but only if it's cooked properly and it's fluffy and that. So I would probably, of those 3, opt for pizza 9 times out of 10. The dream job growing up was, which I have shared with, I think in a previous episode, was actually to work on cruise ships. It was always a dream of mine. I'm not quite sure why. There's no family connections or anything to that particular industry. However, it was something I always wanted to do until I actually got on a boat and realized that actually I get seasick. And I think from that time onwards, I pretty much changed my mind about wanting to work on cruise ships. I'm still not totally convinced about what I'd like to be when I grow up, or if I will in fact ever grow up. I think most of us who enjoy theme parks have a child inside of us that we like to connect with regularly, and it allows us to let that child out occasionally. So I'm not sure I'll ever grow up, but unfortunately, it's Dave. Do you know what I would actually really like to do a cruise? I have said it's something I would like to do. Unfortunately, it's not something that Karen is particularly wants to do. Her parents have been cruisers for years, so it's not something I think we'll ever probably get around to doing. But you never know. You never know. Don't be spending all your time. Halloween is coming. Joining Dave and Kaz on the next cruise. Well, that wouldn't be a problem at all, other than the costings. And at the moment, we've got bigger priorities. So yeah, unfortunately, I won't be joining Kaz and Dave, but it's a lovely suggestion. And spending that time with Dave and Kaz would be a lovely time to spend. Having spent time with them both at parks before. How are you using the super chat cash donut time? Well, if it eventually gets to an amount that might actually even afford a donut, then yeah, Mike, I might actually do that. It's not as great as people might think. So it's yeah, but yeah, that's a good idea. Spending the money on donut time donuts is probably a great idea. That and beers, of course, would also be quite nice. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll come back to that question in a moment. If I could be an animal, what and why? I would love to be some kind of sea creature, I think. I quite like the idea of being a whale, just sort of floating around, not generally being bothered by people or other animals, not having to fear them, but being able to just sort of, cruise around the water and just, I don't know, they always seem such laid back creatures. I'd love to have that kind of a laid back lifestyle. I'm not one for being particularly laid back, so that would be quite a nice thing to do. So that's the questions that I normally ask guests. So I will. Yeah, Darren is the new Nemo. Yeah, thanks for that, Abby. But coming back to that question, favorite theme park. I guess it depends what I'm looking for. If I'm on a family day out, then I would say probably Chessington or Alton Towers. If I'm just looking for sheer adrenaline thrills, then it would be obviously my local park, which is Thorpe Park, which I do spend a lot of time at. One, because it's convenient to get to. Although I have now discovered that it is possible to get to Chessington relatively easily for me by train as well. So I probably will start making a few more trips to Chessington as well. But I can't say that there's one park that stands out and covers all grounds for me as a favourite. I think it's one of those, maybe not a whale in China. Yeah, that could be. So I think I'd avoid that, Chris. Yeah, that's definitely one I'd want to avoid. Is any areas where whaling is still practiced, I'd obviously have to avoid. But yes. Yes, good evening, Chris. Lovely to see you. Hope you're looking after Em for us, and obviously giving her the best care that you possibly can. I'm sure you are. But yes, I think it would be very hard to give a Is it possible to do Chessington, Thorpe, and Legoland in one day? I've never tried. I know that you have, but unfortunately, school trips and things went against you. I'm excited to see if you try it again, because I think in a quiet season it might be a possibility. But yeah, it'd certainly be interesting. I certainly wouldn't try it because, one, I'm not a driver, so that would immediately make it impossible for me. And two, I wouldn't want to drag Karen in a crazy challenge like that. But yeah, it's not one I would undertake. I will leave that one to you, Sean, and see how you get on with that one. Yeah, it's also possible to drive to Toverland and back in a day. Oh, I see. Was this another challenge that you guys got up to? Good evening, Beth, Coastalytical. Thanks for joining. It's do you know what though, guys? Sometimes the craziest ideas become the best challenges and the most watchable content. So, it's I look forward to seeing results of that, and I'm assuming that there is a Toverland trip either impending or has at least been attempted recently. Yeah, but we did it because we know what the internet wants to see. I mean, we didn't film it, but still. Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. But yeah, Toverland is that Germany? Do you think someone who can't swim can cruise? A great question. I would say I can swim, but by saying I can swim, I mean I can stop myself from drowning in water. Is the limit of my swimming. So I think you'll be all right, James. I think most boats are adequately equipped to, not need you to swim very far without not drowning. Used to love school trips as a kid. I just never got to I never got to go to theme parks on school trips. We always went to museums and farms and castle ruins up in the mountains. Maybe that's because I lived in rural Wales, but that was the extent of our school trips. So it's yeah, we certainly never got to go to a theme park. But yeah, it's describe Sam in one word: legendary. Look at that. See, James and I agree. Legendary, absolutely. Smash Thought Park on the Water Ride Challenge video. Yes, yes, I did see that. I am slowly catching up with. I took a week's break a couple of weeks back. A literally complete break. I didn't make anything. I didn't watch anything. I didn't engage on social media, and so I'm behind and I'm catching up very slowly with all the videos. That you'd be amazed how many videos in 1 week can come out. So it's yeah. What ride are you scared of and why? That's a really interesting question. And it was something I was thinking about the other day because obviously having done the majority of the rides in the UK now that would have traditionally scared me, or historically have scared me, it's difficult now to think of rides that do scare me. I think Big One still, causes me anxiety because having never done a hyper, I think, and it is the tallest in the UK. So, I think I'd probably have to say at the moment, it's probably Big One, which I'm hoping possibly by the end of this year to have done. But Will I be doing Megaphobia soon? Never ridden it, but already decided it's my favourite coaster. It looks brilliant. Yeah, I've seen a couple of clips of the of it now. It's reopened with the repaint and the retrack. It does look really good. Megaphobia, obviously, it's a difficult one because it's quite a trip to go to, and it's certainly not in my plans for this year. That's not to say that it won't be in future plans. I would like to go there. Obviously, being a Welshman myself, it would be great to get out there. But I don't know if that's going to be anytime soon. It's one of those that I would like to go and have a go at, but whether I make it out or not is gonna remains to be seen. How the hell can you decide to ride your favorite without riding it? I'm tending to agree with you on that one. I don't know that Stealth Fan, my favorite is Gangster Granny. Interesting choice. So you can tell me I'm wrong. The law now states that there's always has to be enough lifeboat space for every person on board, and you don't have to use onboard swimming pools. So there you go, James. Non-swimmers are absolutely fine on cruises. I completely lost my train of thought there. Can't be held due to your granny fit. I'm not sure that this is a conversation that wants to go much deeper. Should they change the Smiler theme song to something different? I love the ride. God, hate the music. I don't know what they could change it to though, because obviously, it needs to be haunting, doesn't it? Because it's the whole concept of the theming behind it is quite a haunting concept. I don't know what you change it to. It's not my favorite music. I'll be honest. I think they play it too loud is part of the problem, and I think that that causes a lot of people to be averse to it, rather than necessarily it being the music itself. But I can't say I am a big fan of the Smilers music soundtrack. Good night, Shane. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for your kind donation. I look forward to speaking to you probably tomorrow at some point. If you could only ride one Merlin ride for the rest of the season, what would you pick? One ride, rest of the season. What would I choose? I think I would probably have to opt for Mandrill Mayhem. I really would have to opt for that. It's a ride that I've enjoyed very much, and continue to enjoy each time I've done it, and I've done it quite a few times now. I haven't tired of it at all. It's a very enjoyable ride. It's not too thrilling, but there is a little bit of a thrill there. I think that would have to be the one I would choose to ride for the rest of the season, and because it's the one that probably wouldn't give me either headaches or make me ill from riding it continuously for the rest of the season. So I think it would have to be Mandrill Mayhem. Maybe we could do a group trip to Oakwood at some point. That probably would be something that a lot of people would be interested in, wouldn't it? Highlight of 2023 in theme parks. I think it's got to be the opening of World of Jumanji. Absolutely amazing couple of days. Really, really enjoyed that. It was just so exciting. The atmosphere was amazing. So I think that would have to be the highlight for me so far, because of course we've still got quite a lot of 2023 left. I think if I Merlin ride us, because there is definitely an element of truth probably about that. Although I think Disney are trying to catch up, aren't they, at the moment with what I've been seeing about Disney Pass changes. It doesn't look like they are particularly customer friendly changes. So it looks like Mandrill Mayhem is a very popular one. Dream park to visit, and what plans do you have for future parks? I would love to go to Islands of Adventure. I think that is the ultimate dream for me. Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, Hulk. It just looks amazing. But I probably could equally argue in favor of any of the Florida parks. And actually, having spoken to obviously Kevin from Exploration Theme Parks, and some of the others, then it looks like other American parks. So maybe I'd have to just broaden that to any USA park. But I think the one that really brings me back time and time again to wanting to go to, it's probably Islands of Adventure. Whether I'll ever get there, I don't know. That is one of those bucket list things. But I think, yeah, it's. How about you all learn to drive and take yourself on the 5-hour journey? Lindsay, I can say I am actually in the process of learning. So, you know, in my defense, I am learning. So that was one of my commitments for this year, and I have taken steps to do that. I probably won't get my license until next year, but I am actually at least making some effort. It looks like yeah, the get you all in the wagon. Yeah, because loving a park opening a land that blatantly wasn't finished and is a disgrace. It's really such a highlight. I don't know. Maybe I'm not enough of a theme park enthusiast to have noticed how the degree it was unfinished or whatever. For me, it wasn't just about the land. It was about the whole day. It was about the people that were there, the people I spent it with. So, yeah. Best non-ride experience. I'm guessing that includes things like scare mazes, doesn't it? Or and shows and things. I think the one that sticks in my mind probably is actually doing Creepy Caves in 2019. It was a very big thing. It absolutely terrified me and put me off scare mazes for a while, but it was so well done when I look back at it, and you know, the fact that it terrified me so much. So for that reason, I'd say it was the best experience, because it was possibly the worst experience, but the worst experience for the right reasons, if that makes sense. But I think for me, yeah, no, but yeah, we've got some. We've got a Merlin collaborator, at least one in the live chat, guys. So you know, let's go easy on Merlin. Best ride I've ever done, or best ride you've never done. Okay, so would that include rides that I want to do or would love to do? Actually, the one ride that I really regret having never got on, and unfortunately it was gone by the time I was actually in any sort of position to get on it, is probably Ramesses Revenge at Chessington. I used to love, in my days of going to theme parks and just watching rides, which is pretty much all I ever did. I used to love watching Ramesses Revenge when it was actually operational, of course, and would have loved to have done that as a ride. And I wish I'd been braver sooner to have been able to do it before it obviously got taken away. So I think I'd have to say Ramesses Revenge is probably the best ride that I've never done. It looks like, yeah. Good evening, Zuda Lupus. Thanks for joining. Lovely to see you guys. Are we all organising an Oakwood trip? Merlin, imagine making us creative. Okay. Favorite medal. I've got two, actually. Two favorite ones. One, for what it meant to me on my anxiety journey, which is the stealth medal that I have, that I am particularly proud of. The other one that I think really stands out for me as being a favorite is actually not a ride medal at all. It is the one that I got for doing the Alton Towers 5K last year. That's one I'm particularly proud of. one, because I've never been a runner, so the fact I was actually able to do it and do it, in a reasonable time. Two, because it allowed me to raise money for a charity which I support and have used and supported. So I think just edging it is probably the Alton Towers, the Run Alton Towers 5K medal. But my stealth medal is probably a very close second. I like Flying Fish. It's a nice little ride. It's worth doing. That's me being nice to Merlin. Okay. Just you grump. Your 25-meter medal. Run Towers medal. Yep. See, James agrees with me that one. I think it's just got a lot of meaning behind it. I've been wanting to make friends with the theme park community, but it's hard to, as most don't like football, as I'm a big Man United fan, love to talk about parks, favourite rides, etc. There's a few of us actually who like football as well. Some people would argue that being a Newcastle fan, I don't like football, and I'm not saying that's not a fair comment. But yeah, there are football and theme park enthusiasts within the community. So I'd suggest, Chris, just reach out, put up a story on Instagram if you've got Instagram, and I've no doubt that people will respond if there are some football Man United are washed. let's not see about that. I'm actually really excited about catching more of the shows at Carnival this year. Last year, I didn't really take in the shows particularly. I was fixated on rides. I remember a card trick being done by somebody who wasn't allowed to speak, but I didn't really catch much of the other shows. So for me, it's about seeing the shows this year. I really am really excited. Obviously, Bozos. It was good fun last year. I quite enjoyed Bozos. Yes, Coaster Capturers love Man United. Yeah, that's true. Best on-road experience for me is when I get to sit in a long ass queue and chat bollocks with you legends in the chat. And it's appreciated, Sam. Your contributions and your chat is appreciated. So, and we love it. We all love chatting bollocks. Let's face it. It's best ride at Thorpe, isn't it? I seem to remember a quote actually when I asked somebody about Flying Fish, and they said to me, and I think I'm quoting here, it's the best ride I've done today since Swarm, which I think, is I need to finish up. Would I like to keep getting to saw the ride? I can't. I'm not enjoying Saw the Ride this year, which is a shame because I have previously really enjoyed it. You messaged me, shows you back to board and manager, and then you got evac off. Oh, what a time that was! I think I was stood with you in the queue at that particular incident, Sean, and it did seem to be going a little bit backwards and forwards there, didn't it? And it was quite funny when it would, yeah. A couple of United fans in here, Chris. Oh, there you go. See, more United fans. There's a group full of footy fans. I have no idea what we're talking about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are definitely footy fans in the community. West Ham are massive. West Ham had a blip season last season, Sam. I'm expecting better this season. I think there will be better. Everywhere they go. West Ham are massive in West Ham. I missed Ramesses and Ripsaw, only rode them once. Yep. So let's say, yeah, for me, red side, is that Newcastle? No, Newcastle are black and white. But yeah. Oh, there you go. Poppy's also a West Ham fan. Massive blowing bubbles. Okay. We're obviously getting into some bit of a theme park banter in the live chat here now. Who is Coaster Talk? Oh, here we go. I'm just going to scroll through some of these because obviously, we've got a Liverpool fan, I'm afraid. Legoland or Towers fireworks? I've never actually attended either. Purely and simply because Gabriel hates fireworks, absolutely hates them. And I've got to be honest and say I don't mind them, but I'm not one of those people who over bonfire night, fireworks night, November the 5th, whatever you want to call it, actually goes out of their way to see fireworks displays. So I've never actually been to both. I've heard they're both great. Maybe one day I'll go and have a look at the Towers one. That seems to be the one that most people favour. So I think that might be one I have a look at. There's a lot of vampire names, dinosaur names going on in here. Yeah, I see James is saying Towers. So what new guests can you not wait to interview on Nervous Chat, Darren? I've only got 3 guests lined up now between now and a summer break. I'm going to be taking a summer break this year. Obviously, the show's been running for a year, and in that time, I think there's only been 2 Mondays that I haven't gone live, as well as other lives I've done. So actually, I'm taking a break this August. Some of you may be pleased to hear you're not going to have to listen to my voice for 3 weeks, just to have a bit of a holiday, refresh, and make some decisions about what we do, format changes I'd like to make, etc. Yes, James, I saw all about that, and I thought it was absolutely disgusting, literally disgusting. How I don't know what the I'd love to hear what Drayton's reasons for not letting people know was, because I think that was absolutely disgusting behaviour. I mean, I know we all complain about communication, but I mean that's got to be the absolute epitome of a failure to communicate vital information to people who've paid good money to attend an event, and then to cancel without warning like that, and with no notification is disgusting. And I'm really sorry, Beth and family, that happened to you. And I hope and pray that you're being compensated by Drayton for that, because I think it's just not acceptable. And there's just no reason for it. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. They must have known early enough to just drop an email, drop something on social media, something that let people know that was going to that was happening. So yeah, totally, absolutely disgusting. And I'm going to be watching that vlog actually, because I'm intrigued to see the full details as to what went on. I've seen a lot of it on social media. So that will be a vlog I'm definitely going to be watching to see exactly what happened there. And as I say, I'm really sorry, Beth and family, that happened to you. Would I rather fight a great white shark or a grizzly bear? I'd have to say a grizzly bear, because, as I said earlier, I'm not a very strong swimmer, and that would give the great white a massive advantage over me. So yeah, it would be definitely not the great white for me. Well, you never know. You can find yourself in. I see, James. I hadn't even thought about it in those terms. Actually, yeah. Actually, if I'm fighting the shark on land, that gives me the advantage. I just assumed I'd be fighting it in the water, in which case it would have a massive. And that could well be the case, Sam. I'm not ruling that out. Actually, that anyone says they hate fireworks hasn't seen good fireworks. It's not that I hate fireworks. I don't hate them. I just don't. I'm just not one of these people that is totally wowed by them. But as I said, as you say quite rightly, it could just be that I haven't seen the right ones. Coaster, what is your favorite roller coaster? Please just enlighten what happened at the opening of Jumanji Land. I heard you was getting smart on Instagram and then you got evac. Oh, this is great. Oh dear, this is all getting quite interesting now. What are your future plans for the channel? I've got some trips coming up, starting with Carnival at Thorpe Park coming up, and then I'm off to Adventure Island again to do nighttime at Adventure Island, and that's going to be over there superhero weekend, which I'm quite looking forward to. I'm also heading to Flamingo Land this year to try out all the coasters there because it's a park I've never been to, and I'm quite excited about that. So there'll be obviously a vlog coming from that, and possibly some other little videos about braving specific new rides. Also going to... I lost my train of thought completely there. I'm hoping to get back to Blackpool this year with Karen, because she's never been to Blackpool. So we're hoping to go up there, and so she gets the opportunity to do the rides up there, and I get the opportunity to do the 2 rides that I didn't manage to do last year because unfortunately they were closed. There will hope I'm probably going to keep going with a live streaming podcast setup, but I don't know exactly what form that's going to take yet. I'm sort of toying with a few ideas at the moment, but there's nothing concrete to tell anybody. So it's pretty much as is for the time being. But as soon as I've made any decisions about whether things are changing or not, then obviously I will let you all know. That's as far as the future goes for the moment. Is I'm sort of planning for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and then we'll see where we go from there. Once I've had a bit of a break and just had a good look at things, really. We can go to the local. Coaster Chicken, Wicker Man. As rest 2023. I've got to go, but yes. Good night, Kate. Thanks for joining. It's been lovely to have you in again. I don't Nervous Chat. I don't think we'll go, but I am looking at some other bits and pieces just to keep it fresh. You know, it's good to keep things fresh and keep challenging yourself. If you always do the same thing, you'll always, you know, I want people to come and join us, and I want people to want to come and join us. And if it's, you know, if I don't change things, then, you know, people will stop watching. You know, and I like people to come and watch. That's obviously it's the name of the game. How long do you think you could ride the Smiler without getting off? One ride? I don't know. I suppose it would depend on whether I got one of the better cars. That obviously makes a big difference. And it's yeah, it's going to be I don't know, because obviously James and Dave did it a number of times and certainly seem to feel the ill effects of that. So yeah, it was I don't know actually, because going upside down doesn't bother me, but it's the rough bits that might cause that to be a bit of a problem. Glad to see that, Beth, and I hope obviously that gets resolved for you, obviously in your favor, because I think there is certainly a compensation required in that one. Update on Drayton. Danielle watched my story and they still haven't acknowledged it. Oh, okay. That's not great. Just throwing my baby around for a laugh. Okay. Like we could, right. I'm just going to have a look through here. There is a lot of chat going on in the live chat. It's always great to see people. Darren, would you rather grow a full head of hair or a full on beard like Coaster Chicken? It's a head of hair for me. Beards don't suit, as you can see. I haven't shaved for a couple of days, and it just doesn't suit me. I've had goatees, I've had all sorts of attempts at beards. They just don't suit me. If I see not having a race with it, feelings on boiled frogs. Okay, not sure about that one. Okay, bacon, mayo, tomato, horseradish. Best cartoon: Angry Beavers or Alvin and the Chipmunks? I do love Alvin and the Chipmunks. Wasn't a fan of the live action movies, but I did like Alvin and the Chipmunks. So yeah, I'd have to say that one. Don't like the sounds they make. That's quite true. I am trying to catch up with the live chat. It's all going a bit crazy. So I'm going to Pleasure Beach next Monday. Chris, that's great. I like Pleasure Beach. It's not, obviously, there's things about it I don't like. The same with every park, isn't it? Really, there's good things and bad things. Why is always us coming to you? Why don't you guys come down to us? Okay. Mondays 8, Darren. Might start one. Tuesday at 10, unfiltered with Sam as a guest to abuse. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know that Sam's deserving of all that abuse personally, but yeah. Turning to next month potentially. Okay, I'm just going to go through because not going to lie, got head of hair and a beard. That's true, James. You are definitely. Thanks for joining, Mike. I'll speak to you soon, mate. Take it easy and good luck with the gym. I quite like that stubble you've got going on, Darren. Really? Oh, see, Karen hates it. Absolutely hates it, and it will be gone tomorrow. I can tell you. Otherwise, she ain't coming near me. So yeah, problem is it tends to turn grey and ginger, and so I don't know. I don't think it looks great on me somehow. But yeah, I'm just going to run through this. I've got to try and catch up with this. Wow, I've actually caught up with the live chat. Phew. Yay, so much Sunday fun. So yes, daily live streams, that would be good. Do you know, one thing I have actually got to be honest about is the fact that I find, streaming more difficult than I ever anticipated it being, because of how much work goes into each episode weekly. And so I don't know. I couldn't do daily streaming. One of the considerations is that I will be dropping Nervous Chat down to a fortnightly show, because especially during theme park season, just purely because of the constraints, not constraints, but trying to vlog, edit, and blog, edit, and obviously research, book guests, all those kind of things. I'm not above admitting that at times it's got on top of me, and so I think it might be a good idea during park season to maybe drop it to a fortnightly show. But I don't know. These are all things that are in consideration at the moment. So, obviously I'll update people as and when. Boycotting food at towers. Okay, I've not heard about this. I'm assuming that there's a good reason for that, but I don't know what that might be. Saturday evening, you're there. We're traveling to Plopsa on Saturday, getting midday ferries to Dunkirk. Oh yes, of course. That's very true. You're heading over to Plopsaland, aren't you? Which would be great. I don't know how to check YouTube messages. Instagram be better. Same name if you're not following. Okay, I'm guessing that's yeah. Okay, I'm just there's a conversation going on about trying to obviously sort Chris and all that going on. I think I've pretty much covered everything that I was going to cover this evening. It wasn't planning to be a long show. As I say, it was more of a gap filler, if you like, for the fact that there'd been an oversight on my behalf with regards to organising and stuff. So but obviously while I'm here, I will mention that it was meant to be a battle of the rides tonight, Sam. Yes, unfortunately it couldn't go ahead because my guy with the production unfortunately couldn't help us out this evening, so we had to change that around a little bit. So that's unfortunately what went on there. So it was meant to be Sean and Poppy tonight. I did obviously message and talk to Sean, or dropped Sean a message to just let him know obviously what was going on. Okay, it's cool. Okay, I'm completely lost with the live chat now. I'm not a Mortal Kombat person, so Megatron. Now I know that that's not a Mortal Kombat character. So yeah, it's it wasn't meant to be a live chat with Poppy and Sean. It was meant to be a Battle of the Rides episode, which obviously I need a third person mic to do to organize all the VTs and things. And unfortunately, due to an oversight on my behalf, I miscommunicated some dates, and so it just unfortunately couldn't happen. So that was totally on me. But I will definitely be having Poppy and Sean back for a nervous chat at some point, and we'll be doing inviting them back after the summer, obviously. When we come back on Saturday this week, I've got Chris from Airtime Thrills coming in. So it's somebody who I've watched for a long time, and who also actually was terrified of roller coasters for quite some time. So I'm quite excited to talk to him about how he got over his fears of roller coasters, and obviously then went on and built on that to build the channel that he's now built over there in America. The week after that, so that'll be Saturday's nervous chat, which will be on Saturday rather than on Monday, purely because of the time differences and work, family commitments, etc. for Chris. So I've moved next Monday's nervous chat to Saturday for that. So if you can join us on Saturday, that will be Chris from Airtime Thrills. Then following that, I have got new channel coming on, actually, who I've recently discovered, all about the lift hills. A couple of girls from Wales, who I'm going to get on to talk about, obviously, why they've started vlogging, and talk about obviously their channel and being vloggers based in Wales and Welsh speakers as well, which is great. And obviously using the platform as I've tried to help other channels grow. That's 8 o'clock on Saturday, Dave. 8 p.m. Saturday. And then after that, the final show of this season, I don't like saying that, it's a bit American, but the final show of this season before my break will be Ben and Holly coming back. And I look forward to catching up with them. Obviously, their channels exploded, and absolutely love those guys. So it will be very nice to catch up with them. It's been a while since I've had them in the studio, so I'm looking forward to that one as well. And then there'll be a 3-week break, but I will obviously keep you all informed as to what and when is coming from September onwards. So that's for the next 3 weeks covered. So Saturday, Chris from Airtime Thrills, 8 p.m. Then 2 weeks today will be all about the lift hills. And then 3 weeks today is Ben and Holly coming back for a back chat. So that's this coming Saturday, Dave. So yeah, so there's going to be obviously only a 6 or 5 day. Unfortunately, Sam, I can't, because I'm totally at Chris's mercy on this one. He can't. We had to negotiate to get Saturday because it was the only day that he could do it at a time that matched up with evenings in the UK, because he's about 6 hours behind us over there in Oklahoma, I think it is. So unfortunately, it can't be, as I say, because of the states, the time differences, etc. So yeah, that's why we're moving to Saturday this weekend. And then, as I say, 2 weeks today, all about lift hills. 3 weeks today will be Ben and Holly back, and then there will be a break. So that's about it. Thanks for joining me tonight, everybody. It's been lovely to have you guys come in and obviously ask some questions. It's only a 6-hour time difference, but because of work patterns for Chris, that's why it doesn't work, Sam. It's not that the time difference is so massive that Monday here is Saturday there, or vice versa. But thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for the questions. I say it was very impromptu, and but it's been nice to just have a bit of a chat with everybody, and catch up with a few people. Always great to see familiar faces. Thank you, everybody, for joining. It's really appreciated, the support that I've always had in the show, and trust me, it has kept me going at times when I've just felt like throwing everything in, and I don't mind admitting that to you. There have been a couple of times in recent weeks where I have just felt like saying, do you know what, I'm done. So it's been great, and I really appreciate the support, and I can't ever explain how much it means to me, and the difference it makes to my life and to me as a person, and to my mental health. So thank you all for your support. And on that note, I'm going to say good night, and I hope I see as many of you as possible on Saturday. Until then, take care of yourselves. Bye for now.